Hi friends, welcome to Programming's Fun. My name is Indranil and today I will be showing you a very easy method of creating a slider using jQuery. Well, you guys might already be familiar with jQuery or JavaScript and you might already have created one slider of your own, but nevertheless, this will be a fun learning. Okay, so without wasting any time of yours, this is the end product that we will be creating. It has got 5 slides in it, and we also have a previous and next button. So this has got a feature that is that whenever you hover on any of these images or slides, the sliding stops. So as soon as you remove the cursor, it will wait for a couple of seconds and then start sliding again. Okay, so we will be creating this entire slider from scratch and I hope you will like it. So let's begin creating a new project. I'm using WebStorm here, and I will create a new empty project here. Let's say slider tutorial. Okay, and first of all, let me create a directory here where I will be storing my images. So this is not mandatory, but it is always good to organize your things. Okay, and I have 5 images and you will be able to download every single file that I'm using here uh, using my GitHub repository. You will find the link in the description below. Okay, so I have all these 5 images and I need a HTML file here. That will be my index.html. So I will give it a title, jQuery slider tutorial. Okay, and I also need a style sheet, so I'll put style.css, and since this file is not available right now, I can move my cursor to the file name, hit alt enter, and I can create the file directly. So this is the feature of my IDE. You might or might not have it in your IDE, but even if you don't have, just right click on the project name and choose new style sheet. Okay, like that. Alright, I'll also create a JavaScript file here so that I don't have to uh, type everything in this HTML and make it look ugly. Also, like I said, I will be using jQuery here, so I have to import that. I already have that saved in my hard drive, so I'm gonna copy that jQuery file here and paste it in my source directory. Okay, so that should be it for the file structure and the files I require to start the project. Okay, so first of all, we will be starting with the HTML, and for these arrows I am using font awesome, so let's import that as well. You can always go to fontawesome.com and click on the start section here and simply copy this link from here. Okay, copy and paste it above your style sheet. Always paste any framework like Bootstrap, Font Awesome before your custom style sheet, okay, so that you can override their settings if required. So starting with the first element, I will first create a wrapper that will wrap the whole content of my slideshow rather. Then I'll have 2 divs, one for the previous and one for the next. Okay, inside that I'll have couple of I tags with classes FAS. That's for this is a new syntax because Font Awesome they have switched to SVGs. It will be arrow right, I believe. Also I want them to be bigger, so it's FA3x. So 3x means they will be 3 times as larger. Okay, In the previous, I will be using same FAS, FA arrow, left, FA 3x. And the reason that my IDE is not able to provide these class names in the IntelliSense is because I'm using the CDN link here. If I download this file in this source directory, then it will be able to cache the class names and show me them in the IntelliSense. But for this project, it's a simple one, so I don't need to copy the entire file. Okay. So in the middle, I'll have a UL with a class of slider, and as you can see, I'm using this syntax which is available through Emmet. Emmet is a free plugin that is available for most of the IDEs, and in case if you don't have that, I highly recommend you to start using it. It will make your lives a lot easier. Okay, so inside the UL I need LIs with a class of slides. Okay, and inside that I need an image tag here. So the source will be image1. Okay, I don't want to give any alt tag now because we are not dealing with SEOs. So I need 5 of these: image 2, image 3, and image 4 is actually a PNG here, so make sure you type the name properly. Image 5. So these are my 5 images, and that's about it. We don't need anything else in the markup. Okay, trust me. And I also need to import my jQuery like that. Okay, so I'm gonna split my workspace into 2 vertically. I'll move my app and style on the right hand side. So let's work on the on designing this page first. If I go back here and debug this, so it'll open it in the browser, and this is how it looks right now. Okay, there is no styling at all, nothing. Okay, and you can also see these dots. These are for the list items. Okay, let me close the font awesome here. So first of all, I'll reset everything like I always do, and it's always good practice to reset everything which you don't need. Okay, so with this we'll first target our wrapper, because that's the first element here. Okay, so the dot is used to target the classes, and hash is used to target the IDs, but I don't have any IDs here, I only have classes, so I will be using the dot notation. So dot wrapper, I'll give it a fixed width of 1280 pixels, and we'll center it with margin 0 auto. 0 is for top and bottom, and auto is for left and right. So once I do that, I save it and go back to the browser. Everything is centered now. Okay, also let's give it a fixed height of 720 pixels, because I know my images are 1280 by 720, so the height will never exceed that limit. Also I want a margin from top, because right now it's almost sticking to the top. I need a margin of around 100 pixels, so it will go down. Great. And I'll give this a position of relative, because I will mark my previous and next elements as absolute. So it's always required to have some elements position set to relative, so that it can bound to that nearest element. Next we will be targeting the sliders. Okay, I don't want any list style here, so as soon as I do that, you'll see that those dots are removed now. Okay, also I want the width to be 100% of the parent. The parent is the wrapper, so it will stretch to the entire thing here. Then display flex. I want the items to display as flex. So every item will be in line now, and you will have this scroll bar. Okay, I'll show you how to remove this in two different ways. Okay, you can use any way you want. It's up to you. So the first way would be obviously to type overflow hidden on the wrapper element, and that should take care of it. Okay, the other cool thing, the other way is a bit more intuitive. It's is using the pseudo classes. So I can target my slides here. Okay, so my slides are these slides, and I don't want to show, I only want to show the first child. I don't want to show anything else. So I'm targeting anything which is not the first child of the slides, and I'll put display as none here. Okay, you see it's hidden again, and we are good. We have the two arrow symbols here. So if I simply comment this, you'll notice that they are back again and they're gone. So you can use either overflow hidden or this small trick here. Okay, so with that I'll put height as 100% just to be sure, although you don't need that, I believe, but still it doesn't hurt. Then I'll target both my next and previous elements, because there are few properties that will be common, that like absolute, like position absolute, and I will give them a top position here. So the top, either I can put let's say, so 720 divided by 2 is 360, so 360 pixels, so they will come in the middle. But you don't want to calculate every time, right? So you can put calc, you can use a calc function to calculate the center. So like this, you can put the 720 pixel here, that is the height of your container, and minus 50%, so it'll be there. I can show you that this is working by commenting out this first. So again, it goes back to the previous mode, then uncommenting. Okay, now what we want both of them to appear as white, appear in white color. Okay, then we want them to have a cursor, because right now we don't have any anchor tag, so it will not show as a pointer, but we want that to happen. So we'll go here, give the cursor property, set the cursor property as pointer here. Okay, once done, then I'll target the individual elements, and for previous I only want the margin left to be 30 pixels, so that it is not sticking inside the I mean on the edge of the container. And with the right, I want it to go to the right, and margin right to be 30 pixels as well. So refresh. Oops. Not sure to work. Position absolute is correct. Let me just remove it from here and see. Okay, so I'll put it here. Oops, I believe oh, my bad. So you see, it should be next, not right. Okay, so I can put it back here. I can put this property back here. That should be, yeah, so we are back in business. Let me target the correct element. Okay, you target here, next one. Okay, so now we have our arrows, and the markup as well as the styling part is completed. Okay, now we will be focusing on the interactivity. So right now it's not moving. Even if you click it, nothing happens. It always stays on the first image here. So let's jump to our app.js, and since we are dealing with jQuery here, so the first statement would be to write the document.ready function here. So this command ensures that all of this code will only run once your document is fully loaded and not before that. Okay, so the very first thing that I want is to capture all these images and store it in a variable, right? Because we want to loop through each of these images. Okay, so I'll create a variable, the name image, and its value will be capture. I mean, I'm targeting the slides, this list items, these list items, and their image tags here. Okay, so by default, if I run this and console log, it will only show you the first instance of the slides. So if you go back here, open the editor and refresh it, see, I got 5 items here. It's nice, but okay, that I'm really sorry that I said that it'll only give you one item, but no, it'll give you all the items that are matching the class name, okay, or that particular target. So we have 5 list items here, so it captured all those 5 list items and stored it in this image variable. And if you expand one of the items here, you'll see there will be a property called source src here. So we are interested in this source attribute only. Okay, that is what we are going to change or modify with the help of jQuery. Okay, so let me just quickly resize it and remove this console.log. So now I want to store every image path that I have here in an array. So I'll name it image array. Okay, that will be empty initially. Then I'll loop through each. There's a method called each image that is there in that array, and can create a function here. And inside this callback function, what you want to push inside this array. And what do we want to push? We want to push this. So this refers to the current element here. So we are inside this image.each block. So this will point to this image, to the current image value basically. So we want to target the attribute that is source and store the entire source inside this array here. So the first element, I'll show you how this array looks like. So once that is done, we can output the images array here, and you will notice that if I refresh the page, you'll notice that we only have the image path basically, not the complete object here. Okay, which is good, which is what we exactly need to loop through. Okay, I'm sorry. So next, what we want, we will assign a starting position. So as we know that arrays always start from index 0, so we'll give a image position of 0. That will be this first image here. So don't confuse with image names. Image name has got nothing to do with the index position. Okay, Then what we'll do, we'll first set the source initially to image array and image position. So the first image will be my image number 1. Okay, and since I'm not using img slash the image name, because that is stored, that entire path is stored in my variables. You see, img slash img1.jpg. So I'm not bothered about putting any folder names as such. Then what we want to cycle through every image. Okay, we want to slide them. So I'm going to create a function here. We'll name it start sliding. Okay, and we'll also put a counter here. This will be my counter object that will count the position. Basically it will work as an index for me. Okay, also let me put another variable here on top, interval. So inside this start sliding function, I'll use the set interval method to create a function, and inside that function I'll simply keep on changing the source attribute from the images array with the help of this counter variable. So the counter is supposed to increase from 0 to n-1. That's the length of your array minus 1. Okay, and once the image is set, I want to change the image position and set it to the value of counter. Okay, then increase the counter width by 1. Okay, and I'll store this entire thing inside my interval variable, which I declared here. And the reason of declaring it outside the function in the global scope, so that I can use it somewhere else. For example, if I want to clear this interval, I can refer to reference to this interval variable and clear it out when required. Okay, we'll do that in fact. So once we have increased the counter, we want to check if the current counter value should not be greater than the image array dot length minus 1, because the length will be 5, 1 2 3 4 5 in our case, and the array starts from 0, so it will be 0 1 2 3 4. So we don't want it to be more than 4 here, not more than 5. Okay, more than 4. If it's getting increased beyond 4, you want to set it back to 0, like that. Okay, simple. And we want this to happen every 2 seconds, so it's 2000 milliseconds here, right? So with this, if I go back to the browser, I will still see nothing happens. Even if I refresh the screen, nothing happens. The reason is that we declared this function but we never called it. Okay, so to call the function, I'll simply write the function name, and we have to provide a counter. So the counter will be my image position initially. Okay, with that, if you save it and go back to the browser, refresh it, you'll start seeing that the images, they start cycling without your intervention, and this is changing every 2 seconds as you expect. Okay, great. So we have this working. So the next thing is to hook up the previous and next buttons. Those are also very simple. So we'll first target the previous button here, and the logic will remain same for both of them. So previous, so we'll listen to the click event here, and we'll create a callback function. So whatever we want to happen after the button is clicked, that will be defined here inside this body. Okay, so the very first thing that you should do is to clear the interval, otherwise you will see weird behavior. Okay, then what I want to console log the current position, the current index is my image position here. Okay, all right, so let's see, refresh. Oh, previous, I'm sorry. So current index is 1 because this is the second image, and if you just give it some time. Okay, so now you see the cycling has stopped because we have used this clear interval method here. Okay, good. So let me remove this console log because we know that it's capturing the image position properly. So after the position is captured, what I want to change the image position to the previous one. Okay, -1. Now after doing that, I want to check whether or not my image position is less than 0 because my first element can only be 0. If that is the case, I want to change the image position to whatever the length of my image array -1. Okay, and then if this condition is uh, even false, then this block will not be executed. Or even if this block gets executed, my new image position will be this. And then I want to set the source attribute to use the image position here, image position, and then I want to again start sliding from the next image position. I don't want to slide from the same image that I just changed to. Okay, so if it's second image, it'll start sliding from the third. Okay, so that's about it. Let's test that. Okay, save it, go back to the browser, refresh it. So let it scroll for a couple of slides. This is my second image, third image. If I click back, back, you see it's cycling. And if I just remove my mouse, it will go continue as per the normal cycle. So again you can click back, go back to the first one, wait for a couple of seconds, and it will again start cycling. Okay, so now we will use a similar logic here. I'll simply copy this entire function and paste it here and put it as next. So clear the interval, increase it to 1, check if it is greater than images.length -1, and if it's the case, if that's the case, then position it back to 0. Okay, and then start sliding again. So I think this should be all about the two arrows. Okay, refresh it. So next, back. So it works. So the last thing that I would like to achieve here is to respond on mouse enter and mouse leave events. So whenever my mouse enters the slide, it should pause. Okay, so it's pretty simple to achieve. So we will use two methods, that is, one is on mouse enter and the other one is on mouse leave. So let's do that. So again we will be targeting our slides on mouse enter, and what we want to clear the interval, that is this interval. Okay, and oops, I'm sorry, if when the mouse is removed, or yeah, removed, or when the mouse has left, So we'll use the mouse leave event here. So make sure you don't put any parentheses with the names. We're only referencing here. Okay, plugin start sliding with the image position. So this image position will automatically be stored here in this global variable, and will be and it's always updated when the sliding is going on, as you can see here. So if you remove this code, everything will break basically. So save it, go back, refresh the browser. So just keep your mouse here, and this will never slide again. As soon as you remove it, wait for a couple of seconds and it will again start sliding. Okay, and of course these buttons still work. Okay, so you can go back and back, forward. Okay, so that's about it. I hope you guys liked it and you have learned few things out of this tutorial. I really appreciate your time and your love for this channel. If you have any comments, please write them in the comment section below. And like I say, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. And we'll see you soon again. Till then, take care, and I wish you all a very happy new year in advance. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.